Okay, I just wanted to apologize for not responding. I've got some major server issues that I've been working on today, so I've just got some problems that are keeping me away from the group. But just to explain what I mean by knockout. So this is a design here that we want to knock out some colors for. So the first thing you're going to do is just download this image, so just go ahead and start with this image. I think you already have the PDF, which is awesome. And that's the best thing possible, is to start with, the PDF, load that into Photoshop. And when you share a file like that, you want to make sure to put it on a Google Drive and send it, so that we don't have to upscale. We could probably just work with the regular source file, So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this image and I'm going to upscale it so we have a larger version. And we'll just take it out to 6,000 pixels. That's probably way more than we need. Okay, so just open that up with Photoshop. And in this case, what I would do if I was putting this on a light. So let's just go ahead and put a solid color of white behind. We'll unlock this layer, put a solid color. I'm actually going to duplicate this layer. That's the original. And then I'm just going to convert this one to a smart object and put it underneath that layer of white and just turn it off. And then, we're just going to look. I'll turn that white layer off too, but I'm just setting up that color layer so you can understand how to do this. So just go ahead and select the light areas. So if we're going to put this on white or a light color, say like a cream or a natural or anything that's going to have light, what we can do is we can even turn off contiguous and just select all the white in the design. And see, it's also picked up, because of my tolerance, I've got it on 80. It's picked up that pink, and that's great. So I'm going to turn that contiguous back on and hit that pink again. And we're just going to hit delete on our keyboard. And now we've got all of these areas much softer. And I would think about taking it so far as even knocking out this yellow, because the yellow could also be knocked out. And then, if we were going to go extreme like that, let's do it. Let's take that out. And we're just going to hit delete. Well, yeah. And we're doing this at a really high res, like you saw, the 6,000 pixels, so it's going to look fine. We want to make sure we get rid of all of it. And so that's going to be a much softer design. And when viewed against white, that's what it's going to look like. And so that's the concept that I was trying to share. And then if you were going to do that for a dark, so we could take this, we'll duplicate this layer. We still have our original down here. And like say we were going to put this on a darker color, like a navy. So let's just get a nice navy color background going. And we'll grab this, we'll turn this back on, we'll rasterize it. So let's rasterize that layer. All right, so now let's look at knocking out all the dark parts of the design. So I'm just going to uncheck that contiguous, and I'm going to click, and it's just going to get everything that's that dark. So it's gotten all this parts of this wood. It's really gone a little bit crazy. Let's go lighter. Let's go 60, and let's just see. So that, we'll just knock that out. And see, now we've got that navy, and you can really see it shine through there. Now, I would probably stroke around the outside of this with white. So what do I mean by that? Let's get rid of this white. Let's go ahead and turn off contiguous, and we'll select on around the outside. And I'm just going to hit delete. And we've got our design here, okay? But we want to preserve the outline that we had before, okay? So let's do that. So let's actually grab this layer, and we're just going to put that back, okay? And then I'm going to select this outside, and I'm going to do Control-Shift-I and select the inverse. And then I'm going to do Control-C, and I'm going to do Control-Shift-V, okay? So I know it's a lot of operations there, but it's just kind of standard Photoshop stuff. And that's what it looks like without the outline, okay? And then we're just going to put around this, just do blending options, and I'm going to do a stroke, and I'm just going to choose kind of a wild color, like say this neon green. And I'm just going to put a stroke around the outside like that. All right. I'm going to hit OK. And now I'm going to grab that stroke. I'll keep contiguous on. We're just going to select it. And that's gone all the way around the design. And I'm going to do control, well, let's rasterize it. Rasterize the style. Control C, Control Shift V. And then I can turn this layer off. And then this layer where we've got that stroke, we'll just do blending options. And we'll do color overlay. And we'll make it white. So this is what I mean by doing a knockout, knocking out a color. And, you know, it takes a decent amount of skill, and there's a lot of instruction needed if you're going to have somebody else do it. But see, if we turn this off now, we turn all these other layers off, that's all the ink that's showing. So like to try to highlight that, let's make this like kind of a funky color. And we can see there's hardly any ink, but against a navy shirt or a black shirt, it's going to look great, and it's going to be the design. So we're using the navy for the design. Now, of course, before you finish something like this, you would trim it. So you'd want to do image trim, transparent pixels, and then you'd want to size it. So you go to image size, you turn off resample, set this to 300, turn your resample back on, do 15, okay? And then, you know, it could be cleaned more than this. I mean, like a Nook does a much better job usually than what I've just done. But this is the, you know, just the quick, dirty, knocking it out, using the color of the shirt to come through. That's what I was trying to prove. That's what I was trying to explain. So I'll put this file up in the drive. You know, the thing to do is to just, you know, order some of these, you know, experiment. You know, if this was a dark green, for instance, you know, that's also going to look pretty good, you know. And then if it's a light, it's going to look terrible. And so that's why you would want to not use that version. You'd want to use the version that's set up for the dark, which we had before, I think. Let's see, this one right here. So this one is set up, you know, for lights. So your light colored ones, you would use this. And then your dark colored ones, you would use this version. And I'll put both of those up in the drive.